Hello, everyone. This is Overnight Gaming. You got Chris here. We have Jason,
Hello.
and we have Leonard on the tech side. And we're just a couple guys here trying to start out a podcast, talk about some gaming news and some stuff that we've been playing for the week. So I'll go ahead and start. How you feeling, Jason? You feeling good today?
Feeling okay. Got my coffee, got my water.
Oh, excellent. All right. So the first thing that I want to talk about today. You guys have probably heard about this. Sony is looking to acquire new studios ahead of the PlayStation 5 launch. Now, this is coming from IGN, Matt Purslow over at IGN. Talking to Nikki, Sony Interactive Entertainment President and CEO Jim Ryan said that content is more important than ever before. In order to secure more content, the company is considering the merger and acquisition of game developers. Now, this has me really excited because this could be anything from some small indie studios to more big AAA, not AAA publishers, but AA publishers. And a follow up to this actually is an let me find it right here. I'm sorry. They were rumored to actually be pulling in Remedy Studios, and now I'm not sure if you're familiar. Are you familiar with Remedy, Jason?
The name rings a bell. I did actually read a little bit about this story a couple days ago, and I remember Remedy being mentioned, but I don't remember what they make exactly.
Remedy, the studio that not exclusive to Xbox, but did have Xbox did have or Microsoft did have publishing rights to Alan Wake.
Oh,
Uh,
Alan Wake. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that horror-esque game that came out on the Xbox 360, and then the follow-up that was a digital only Alan Wake Awakening or
American Nightmare.
American Nightmare. That is correct. Alan Wake American Nightmare. So and they actually have their new game coming out, Control. And now Control, have you seen Control?
I have seen Control. I'm on the fence about it. I played Alan Wake's a game that I start a bunch, and I never I want to do it as one long narrative, but it's like a 14-hour game, and I just can't spend 14 straight hours playing it. So it's one of those ones I restart all the time because I go back to it. It's like, well, I played this so long ago. I got to start over now.
Hmm.
But I've seen Control, and it's been kind of on my back burner interest list. I don't want to pay full price for it, but I want it.
Control. I don't know, everything I've heard from the indie out of E3, I saw that Control was actually getting Game of E3 nominations. So, I mean, it seems pretty interesting. I haven't seen a whole lot on it. I know they've only released so much information on it. I'm excited though because if PlayStation can get Remedy Studios, if that's who they're rumored to get, they also did Quantum Break on the Xbox One, and that was that weird like TV show tie-in. But
Yeah,
if they're able to get at least Remedy Studios, that would be a huge gift for them because I don't even know why Microsoft didn't keep them because they had such a long deal from the Xbox 360 all the way into a couple of years into the Microsoft or to the Xbox One life
I'm
cycle.
actually
But
I'm actually on the other side of this. I did read about the acquisitions thing. I don't think for Remedy specifically that it would be a good idea to maybe get timed exclusives for Sony, like maybe get like a 6 month timed exclusive or maybe some additional content. But I don't know if it's a good idea. I mean, ultimately, if they throw enough money at him, Remedy's going to be like, "Yes, sir, Mister Sony." But I think since Alan Wake is such a niche game and Remedy seems to be a big niche game developer, I think the more platforms they're on, the better if they're going to make full sales for their games.
well, that they think the same way. It could be that you could be right though because they could be going multi-platform with this control with their new game Control, and then if testing the waters, and if obviously they're gonna love their independence because which studio doesn't love their independence? But I don't know. I think Sony. There's not too many other publishers though that Sony could pick up. Maybe From Software from the from Japan. That would be a huge get for them, and they already had a long, um, a good relationship with From Software, starting with Demon Souls, and then Dark Souls is multi-platform. All the Dark Souls are multi-platform, but then they had Bloodborne after that. and Demon's Souls more of a cult game, but Bloodborne was one of the more successful exclusives on Sony. So I
I'd
could
really like to
definitely see.
see.
But
I'd really like to definitely see a Bloodborne sequel.
oh yeah, I've
I mean, once I
actually
beat Bloodborne, I'm sure I'll be even more more excited for it. But I
yeah,
killed the Sanctuary Beast, so that makes me better than I think it was like 94% of other people that played the game. I love the trophy list on that. It's just sort of like common, start game, very rare, kill first boss. It's like, what?
yeah, I got all the way up to the final boss in that game. That's where I'm at right now. But yeah, Bloodborne 2, I definitely think is works. It'd be interesting if I assume now, obviously, it's going to be a PlayStation 5 game. So it'd be interesting if when they announce Bloodborne 2, they say also From Software is a PlayStation first party studio now, because I mean that would be a huge get. But the rumor right now is Remedy, so we'll just have to see where that goes. But
I
again,
think
like I said, good.
I think it could well be Remedy, but I don't think that if a lot of people are wanting an Alan Wake sequel, that they're going to get it if Sony gets Remedy. I
Well,
think that license, I think that game just might be dead. I know it
well,
sucks,
that's the thing though.
but
Earlier this week as well, Remedy actually got the rights for publishing back from Microsoft for Alan Wake, so they completely own Alan Wake again. So, and they've already said they don't know what's in the future for Alan Wake. It could be a sequel, but I think
Switch
that
support.
if Sony does, yeah, absolutely, that's gonna happen. But if Sony does end up picking up Remedy Studios, there's no way that they're gonna have them make an Alan Wake 2. I think it's gonna be a brand new IP, maybe even a sequel to Control if Control sells really well. And if Control does sell well and Remedy gets picked up by Sony, could you imagine Control 2? Everyone, that's
Sony
going to be more
exclusive.
people moving over to PlayStation for that for the sequel. But we'll have to see. We'll just have to wait and see how that one does. You want to pick up the next story?
Yeah, I did not expect this to be a PlayStation dominant episode. I'm sure you've seen the issue. I don't even know if we can call it an issue, but there's been the talk about PES 2019 being pulled from the games this month.
Yep.
Personally speaking, I saw this. Okay, I watched it. I was like, PES 2019. It's like Horizon Road Rage or Road something another, an arcade thing. I should have had the name up.
By the way, I looked into that Horizon. I think it's Horizon Turbo Chase. I looked into this game, right?
Yeah,
Apparently, it looks a lot like that Driving California game.
it looks like
That's
Cruising the World to me.
yeah, Cruising the World. That's what it is. That's in all those arcades that I used to go to as a kid. And I was looking at that. I was like, man, that looks like a lot of fun.
I had
So
that
I'm
on
gonna have to,
64.
yeah, I'm gonna have to download it and try it.
I always grab the PlayStation free games, like even if I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
gonna play them. I also like to tease myself. Like I downloaded Yakuza Kiwami, and I'm like, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play it sometime, and I haven't started it. I want to so badly. Any
But
game with a karaoke simulator inside of it, I'm pretty sure is just on the list.
I've always wanted to get into the keys, but it just seems like a huge commitment. I know they're like 60-hour games or something, so
Yes, but they're full of kung fu treachery.
and bad voice acting.
Well,
But
let's agree to disagree. But
for context,
back to PES.
here, the original games for the PlayStation Plus for the month of July, we're recording this on July 5th, was originally, like you had said, Pro Evolution Soccer, PES, and the Horizon Chase Turbo, just for reference.
Yeah, this was announced last month, like late in the month. They always like tell you going forward. They do like a video, like this is what's next. Next week's PlayStation Store. This is your Plus stuff. And I saw PES 2019, and I watched PlayStation Access. I don't know if you've ever watched them,
Yeah.
but Rob on there like goes on about how much he loves PES 2019, and I am susceptible enough to suggestion that I was like, you know what? Now's the time. I'll try PES 2019. I've not been a big fan of sports games because I don't like the microtransactions attached to them, but I was like, this is free. I don't have to spend any money on it. I will not know a single player on any team's name. It's cool. I don't have any, anything. I just play a soccer game. And just as I geared up, like I'm going to try out PES 2019, it was like, and here is, the Detroit Become Human special edition featuring Heavy Rain, which they gave me like 6 months ago. They gave me Heavy Rain.
Yep, I remember that.
Which popped right into that. The problem with Heavy Rain is I never expected to play it. And since it's like an interactive movie, I've spoiled it for myself. Like just watching videos and things like, oh, let's see what Heavy Rain's about.
Yeah. Yeah, because Heavy Rain is almost all of their games. All of Quantic Dreams games are basically once you spoil it, if you happen to see a video of something, then almost the entire game is ruined for you because it is an interactive experience almost.
Yeah,
And
it's all
that's one
just
of the
quick
things
time
about
events.
yeah, that's one of the things about Detroit Become Human. I knew that I wanted to play the game. It looked super interesting. I played the demo when it first came out, the Connor demo, and I thought it was really cool. The different endings that you could get and the different ways that any particular scene could play out because there are so many different endings. But I had I waited for it because there was some controversy on um some of the
There's
issues in
controversy
the
for
game.
everything now.
Yeah,
Everything. Let's talk about Pokemon right now.
yeah, exactly. So I waited on the game, and I actually watched some Twitch streamers play through it, and I got so compelled by the story that I just kept watching the same Twitch streamer play through it, and I loved it. I thought the game was amazing, and now it's out in PlayStation Plus. I want to play it, even though that I've already seen it. I have it downloaded on my PlayStation because I know that the story is so interesting, and even a lot of the decisions through the game, I would have chosen differently from the streamer, but I mean, I'm interested to go and play it. I thought it was weird that they changed it at the last minute. I'm not entirely sure actually. There's an article
I actually have a
from
follow-up for it.
yeah, the
Which is why I brought
Konami.
it up. Is that
Yeah,
Konami flat out said it was PlayStation's decision,
yeah, exactly.
which leads me to have like two schools of thinking on this. Either one, PlayStation saw people complaining they were getting a sports game, which again,
Mm-hmm.
I think that the entitlement with gamers right now is a bit out of hand.
I agree.
But that's a subject for another time. In this particular situation, like maybe PlayStation heard the quote unquote controversy, the quote unquote issues with people basically being like, "But I don't want a sports game for free," sort of thing, and was like, "Hey, people are going to be upset. Let's pull it. Let's swap it with Detroit Being Human." Now, that's one school of thinking. I'm going to say it with the more likely thing is that Sony doesn't really care if you like the free game they're giving you. It's nice, it's nice of them to give you a game, but in the past, there's been weak months. There's been months where I've been like, I don't like either of these games, and download because I mean, again, I take them immediately.
The
I
thing with
think
this though is I agree with you that there have been weak months before, but remember when the beginning, what was it, March or May of this is when they cut off the PS Vita games and they cut off the PS3 games. So even before when there were weak months, they were still 6 to 8 depending on if they were multi-download or the cross buy. So there were potentially 6 to 8 games that you could download to play. And so even if they were weak before, you still had many more games. Now you're down to 2 games, only 2 games for the month. And so, especially with the month that we had last month with Sonic Mania and Borderlands: The Handsome Collection, those are 2 highly regarded games.
but
And
see,
then
I
you go
think that
from those.
actually justifies having a follow-up month that's not as strong.
I'm not entirely sure because you're like I said, you're back down game. If you only have 2 games, then you have Pro Evolution Soccer, which is not FIFA, and then you have Horizon Turbo Chase, I think it's called, which is I'm not knocking Horizon, but I mean it is on the lower end of indie games. I
Do
don't
you
know.
think it would have been a more popular choice had they put like FIFA 2019 up instead of PES? Do you think it's just sort of an IP at that point? Because they're, I mean, I don't play sports games because I mean, They're all the
The
same. They're
the
practically the
problem
same.
the problem with putting any of EA's sports games, FIFA, Madden, maybe NHL is the exception. The people that want to play those games, they already own those games. Those are the people that buy those games in August or September when those games come out. Those are the people they already picked that game up as soon
That's
as it
actually
launched.
what I was getting to with my second thought process on this is that the people who own this game have already spent 60, 80, 100, 120, however much money they spend on these like annual installment repackaged games. So the only thing that Sony's giving you for free for this month is microtransactions. Like they're just giving you the chance at making microtransactions for EA. I think it's more something around those lines. I think it's more of an evaluation of like what you said. Like everyone who wants this game already has it. All we're doing is basically opening the door
Well,
for them to go into a store and buy things.
Pez is from Pro Evolution Soccer is published by Sega, not by
Or sorry, that's
EA.
FIFA. So I
Yeah.
gotta. Um, but like again, my sports game knowledge is pretty weak. But from what I'm to understand, they're all just like buy this hairstyle. Like is Pez better at that than FIFA is overall?
I know that Pro Evolution Soccer is one of the better sellers for Sega every year, but
Yeah,
obviously it's nowhere near what FIFA sells. So I mean, it's and it's understandable why it was chosen originally for PlayStation Plus. But I think another telling sign is the replacement game, Detroit. Why Detroit was chosen to be put
that was
on the
another
PlayStation
crazy
Plus.
thing. Is it's like
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm happy Detroit was chosen as a PlayStation Plus game because I do
same.
want to play that game. But I think the reason why it is Detroit is because Detroit was published by Sony. They own the rights for that game. So they don't have to go through an EA or a Ubisoft or a Bethesda and say, "Hey, we need to change Pro Evolution Soccer because maybe we're getting too many complaints or whatever, or some other reason. We got to take this game down. We need you to sign this contract so we can put Elder Scrolls Skyrim on there real quick." No,
Yeah,
they don't have to go
that's
through all that humble jumble. So I think that that's a telling sign that it was Detroit is because it was a very last minute change, possibly due. I think it's highly likely it's due from the outcry of Pro Evolution Soccer, a sports game being put on the PlayStation lineup when there's only 2 games every month. I think it's
it's
highly likely.
potentially. I think in the past we've seen exactly how much of a Japanese company Sony is to where it's funny because Sony and Nintendo, I mean, until recent years, really were like fighting constantly. They're like the same old man arguing with each other. Like they think they're having the same conversation, but they're arguing about it. They're both just like two old Japanese dudes, like mad at one another over the same thing. But they ultimately agree on a lot of things. But that is 100% telling, as you said, that it's a Sony in-house game. This was done in-house. The guy from Konami said that he found out in an email that morning that they weren't putting it up,
Yeah.
and it's like, first off, Konami like weirds me out right now because they're a company that's like, we're not publishing games anymore. We're making pachinko machines.
Oh, you're
We're
right.
going
I,
into
I said it was
gambling.
published. I said Pez was published by Sega. It's published by Konami. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
I was way off.
yeah. Konami is such a weird. People are
Yeah.
already unsubscribing. They subscribed about 5 minutes ago, and they're unsubscribing right now. This guy said it was Sega. I'm out.
He's an
Uh,
idiot.
but yeah, so we've got just Konami is such a weird thing because I don't think of them as a publisher anymore. I think of them as a gambling entity at this point. Like they're clearly interested in taking their company in a direction. They keep releasing these like collections. Like I think the Castlevania Anniversary Collection just came out, and they're just like they're teasing us. They're really teasing us. I think where it's sort of like we're not going to make any more games. Hey, you want to buy eight? You know, 8 Castlevania games. We copy pasted these on. I don't know if you've ever like looked into Konami as a publisher. Uh, they're pretty screwed up when it comes like there's a lot of mistakes they've made in the past with their own games, like finishing a game up and then just like throwing away their source code.
Well, a
And then
lot
they're
of
like,
publishers did that back in the day.
that's true, but it's like it puts you in this place because they're like, we are absolutely 100% going to make a remaster of this game, and they they're like, so guys, how do we make a remaster of this game? So they made a lot of poor business decisions that put them in the place they are now.
You,
I don't know how they're doing. Are they doing well? Are they doing poorly? They're still around, obviously.
what you were talking about, I swear, reminds me of Square Enix.
Square, yeah, Square.
Hey guys, we're doing a Final Fantasy VII remake. Okay, guys, how do we make this remake?
Guys,
3 years later, okay, we know how to make a remake, guys.
we figured it out.
We
We
figured
know.
it out. We're gonna start production on it this year, okay, guys? All
Yeah.
right, so we'll move on to the story here. Now, this one is a very interesting one because I know how much you do not like Epic Game Store, and I keep trying to tell you
What all my
how much
tattoos say.
good that they're doing for the industry, but
I
you
know what
don't
you're
see
about to
it
talk
that way.
about, and I'm going to pervert this.
You don't see it that way. You see it as it's the corporate overlord trying to pretend that he's nice so
You
that
know
we
who
can just
Epic
steal our
Store is?
money on the back end.
Epic Store is Steve Buscemi saying like, "Hello, fellow teenagers." He's that meme. That's the Epic Store.
All right, all right. So the issue here is 3. Shenmue 3 is supposed to be coming out in November of this year, I believe. And it was originally a Kickstarter game. So on the Kickstarter, the anyone who pledged the money was supposed to get Steam keys for this game. Um, but because of Epic Game Store and Epic, who is currently dominating the gaming industry right now with Fortnite,
That is such a strong statement.
strong but true.
Sitting here staring at a fucking, I'm staring at an image of Tim Sweeney, and I just want to push him down.
So anyway, they offered, I believe, Yeeznet, yeah, Yeeznet, is the publisher or the developer. They offered them some money, and they said, "Hey, let's make this a Kickstarter. Let's make this an Epic Game Store exclusive for a couple months." Of course, everyone lost their mind.
They have a good reason for losing their minds. They've been
And
promised a product, and Epic's like, but what if we gave money to them and changed what you wanted? Video game players we love so much.
yes, that's true. But remember Epic, you remember why Epic is doing this? They're doing this for the good of the PC ecosystem.
That is
Leonard
their
knows about
claim.
this.
They're doing this to make money.
That's true, but again, did you see Tim Sweeney's tweet about why they were offering getting all these Epic Store exclusives?
I don't
He's-
trust anything that Tim Sweeney says.
Tim Sweeney specifically said that the reason why they're offering the developer split that there was at 8812 is because things need to change in the PC ecosystem. Because Steam is ruling over everything, they're trying to they're trying to help the developers out, and the only way they can do that right now, according to Tim Sweeney, is to get Epic Store exclusives and offer on the Epic Game Store the developers an 88-12% split. That way, other platforms in the ecosystem, Steam, will change their revenue split from what is it, 70-30, completely screwing over developers. And there was one of the indie developers, I don't remember who it was. I saw them tweet out as well. They were saying that in some cases, if your game only sells so many copies, you're not even making any money off of that. Only Steam is making money off of that because of that revenue split. So, but anyway, back to the story here. Yeeznet looked into it because this all happened during E3 when they made these changes to the Epic Game Store. Yeeznet came out and they said, "Hey guys, we originally planned for PC distribution through Steam. In response to backers who have requested Steam keys for their release, we discussed offering the keys on the day of release. However, coordination with the sales policies of the involved companies was untenable, and as a result, we are not able to make a day one distribution offer for Steam keys available." So everyone got in a big hullabaloo about how they wanted their Steam keys, which again they're rightfully so because they pledged money.
100% justified. They were promised Steam
Absolutely,
keys on launch.
absolutely, and they got screwed over because of the Epic Game Store. I get that. And by the way, this comes from the way of Charlie Hall at Polygon, and completely justifiable. People got an uproar. Usenet said, "Hey, we're sorry. We'll look into this." So, turns out Usenet is going to offer a refund to those people that do want the Steam. Now, understand this as well. It's still coming to Steam. But it's coming to Steam a few months later. So you could still get Steam keys. But for those who want refunds, it is going to be available to you. Now, where this story gets really interesting is Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Epic, has gone onto Twitter, and he got some tweets for us. Epic is, and he says, and I quote, "Epic is funding the cost of all Kickstarter refunds resulting from Shenmue 3's move to the Epic Game Store so that refunds won't reduce Usenet development fundings. When future games go Epic exclusive after offering crowdfunding rewards on other PC stores, we'll either coordinate with colleagues at the other stores to ensure key availability in advance or guarantee refunds at announcement time." Now, knowing that Epic is here to give developers the 88-12% split, knowing that they made a mistake at the last minute by taking
One
Steam
of
keys,
a good many mistakes they've made.
one of the Steam keys away from backers on Kickstarter, they are now refunding out of their own pocket. That's money that they have not gotten. They have not gotten from any Kickstarter backers whatsoever. They're paying Usenet to put the game on their platform, and they're still offering out of their own pocket refunds for any who don't want the Epic Game Store key. And you're still telling me that Epic
Any who
Game
don't
Store?
want the Steam key.
No, they want the Steam key. They don't want the Epic key. That's what the problem is. They don't want the Epic key because it's not going to be available on Steam right away. They want the Steam key, but because they can't get them and the game comes out in November. So I don't understand why they can't get the Steam key still. But I don't
The
know the
reason
back
they can't
end.
get the Steam keys is because Tim Sweeney has shit-talked Gabe Newell and Steam for like a year now, talking about like, we're the good guys, and then they're just like, hey, can we have Steam keys? Is there any way that like we can work together? And they probably told him to screw off. Like, what? This guy is not a smart man.
He is a very smart man.
I disagree. He is hemorrhaging money constantly. Here's the Epic Store, all right? The Epic Store is like if Godzilla was trying to walk an old lady across the street. They're like, we're going to help everybody. Crush building, stomp on this person. We've helped you, old lady.
That's the thing, though, is they're only doing that in the PC industry, in the
But
PC ecosystem.
they're not. They have constantly taken things fans are looking forward to away from them. I understand.
What else have they done?
I 100% agree.
Metro Exodus, but
and Borderlands 3, I 100% promise
but
you
the thing is,
that I
okay.
agree that Steam is too dominant of the PC like market. I get that. That's fine. You and I in the past have talked about launchers. I pretty much hope that Onion article about the Corsair launcher comes to fruition sometime soon.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm excited. Development, they've got to be working on it pretty hard. All that aside, all the idea of the launcher, Tim Sweeney is trying to do what he's like calling this great service. Tim Sweeney is a corporation.
Well, he's not calling it a great service. He's acknowledged that there are many faults on the Epic Game Store. But go ahead.
Acknowledging them doesn't fix them. The
acknowledgement is the first step in fixing
going down to the most basic thing is that Tim Sweeney is offering a service that is currently kind of crappy. The Epic's game launcher is not good. It's not a good launcher.
That's
just
fine.
Objectively speaking, it's not a good launcher.
But you have to look at it. You have to look at it like this, okay? So the console ecosystem has been fighting over exclusives
Yeah, so
since
keep that
consoles
crap on your
existed.
consoles. Shakes
Since
fist.
consoles existed, there's been crappy consoles that have games that people want to play, but they can't because it's exclusive to that crappy console, right? The difference between the PC's ecosystem and the console ecosystem, PC ecosystem's all free. Epic Game Store is free. Steam is free. The GOG launcher is all free. So if you want to play those games, you can download that launcher for free. That platform that you have to have for that game, you can download that for free and still play that game. You just have to purchase that game. Whereas
Yes,
in the console
I have to
ecosystem,
commit
exactly, you have to
to
buy a
another
brand new
launcher
system.
when I have 300 games on Steam.
But that's
And
the thing, you don't have to commit to that launcher. You don't. There's nothing saying you
you
have
do
to
for
commit.
exclusivity. Exclusivity on PC has never existed prior to now. What Tim Sweeney is saying is, I want you to commit to Epic Games if you want to play this game or if you want to play that. He came into a Kickstarter, all right, which people were Shenmue 3. Shenmue, I played a little bit of the first one years ago on like PlayStation 1, and it was the blockiest thing in the world, but people loved it.
Yeah.
People loved it. I always loved. They would always mention like because his dad gets killed in the spoilers. His dad gets killed in the first game, like in the first scenes. He's going around and like every time he talks about it, he's like the incident, and it's like everybody's like, yes, the incident. It's like what? What do you mean the incident? Your dad was murdered by Yakuza, I think. Like the incident. Like he makes it sound like he spilled orange juice on his shirt, which I thought was great. Since
He just
the
walks
incident.
around with a giant stain on his shirt.
It's like and he points to
The
it when he
incident was
mentions the
horrible.
incident. The
I can't
incident.
think about it anymore.
It drives me crazy. And you should
I have
maybe
to drink
change that
milk
shirt.
now.
That shirt, Shenmue. You get breakfast will never be the same. But Tim Sweeney takes this beloved cult classic game, all right, which is on Kickstarter. Kickstarter is a place where, I mean, corporations have gotten involved with Kickstarter companies before. Most notably, Shovel Knight with Nintendo. Nintendo does a lot with indie developers with their Nindies program.
Oh yeah.
And that is pretty cool. Nintendo takes these indies. I have another story we may not be able to get to today. Like Nintendo approaches these indie studios, they're like, "Hey, we're going to give you a little bit of money to help you get this figured out. We'd like you to either come like as an exclusive to our console, or as like a timed exclusive, or maybe we'll get you an amiibo. Like we're giving you stuff." What Tim Sweeney did with this Kickstarter is he walked in the door, threw money at the studio, and thought not a moment about people who are playing the games. And when you are claiming that what you're trying to provide is a service for people, to, oh, come, we're the good guys, come help us out, come, Epic Games is here for you, buddy. Oh, you like Shenmue 3? That's too bad. You're the thing that you made an agreement with. Yeah, we're not gonna, honor that because we can't, because we think that people should do what we want them to do because we're the good guy. If this, I mean, this might become, but like, look at this. Objectively speaking, Tim Sweeney, who has been dragging Steam through the mud, talking about how he's the good guy, he's going to change the face of gaming, and all that, then turns around like, I'm pretty sure I can get those Steam keys. His secretary calls Gabe's secretary. I assume Gabe Newell just sits in like a tank floating all day, and just like has computer screen. Like I assume that he's ascended to this like he's
Money's
just fed through a
liquefied.
tube, just liquefied.
Thrown into the tube so he can
He's just
absorb it into his bloodstream.
he's become one with Steam. But yeah, like you call the person who you have purposely called. It's not like he's like entered the industry like, oh, I'm gonna change things up a little. Like he's actively attacking Steam. And
Yeah.
then go and be like, can we get the keys? And Steam's like, no. And he's like, I don't know, guys. I don't know why we can't get those. I'll tell you what, we're going to it looks bad. He makes his company look bad again and again and again.
I don't know. I disagree. I feel like I agree with you that he did go into Usenet and was like, hey, we want to make this exclusive for a couple months. But that's the thing is like it's only a couple months, and even then, they're still giving you a key for free, so you can still play the game on PC. But yeah, you might have to wait for the Steam key if you'd rather have the Steam key. But even then, if you look on the positive note, when that game comes out, it's gonna be buggy as all hell because it's an open world game, so there's gonna be bugs everywhere. Stuff's not gonna be balanced right. It's probably not gonna be optimized right. So it's if you look at it, I mean, it's almost like Epic is getting like the what is that EA Access early access
Beta,
crap.
beta version.
Yeah, they're getting the beta version of the game, and Steam is gonna have all the updates.
Which
Now,
is, once again, another thing that he's doing that is actively harming his company.
but
It
see, the
would
thing is,
this
like,
timed exclusivity thing, like Borderlands 3. They're gonna use that 6-month exclusivity to work out any bugs and then release some like, here you go, Steam, pay $60 and get the first DLC with it.
well, there you go. You get the first DLC, whereas everyone else would have to buy the season pass. Pay was it like 15, 20
Exactly.
bucks for the DLC? So I mean, even then, it would work out for Steam.
I'm not
But I
saying
mean,
that Tim Sweeney is a bad guy. I'm saying that his intentions are not wholly altruistic. Like, he's not the messiah of PC gaming. And I think, objectively speaking, he keeps making really bad decisions for his company.
but see, I have it pulled up right here. $2.4 billion. $2.4 billion from Fortnite alone last year in
That is
2018.
one flash in the pan game that will be replaced by whatever the next thing is.
I don't know. We've had Call of Duty Black Ops come out. That's gone by the wayside. Even Apex Legends, the game that we'll probably talk about later, that I absolutely love. Apex Legends came out with a splash, man. It was everywhere. And in just the last month or two, all the rumblings have died down, and Fortnite's back on top. So I mean,
Because battle royales are dying. It used to be Minecraft clones. Remember Minecraft clones? Minecraft is still around. Yeah, it's not nearly what it used to be when it comes to like
I don't know.
total.
I think we still have a ways to go. I think there's still games that don't have battle royales that I think are still getting them.
Like Minecraft Battle
Like
Royale.
Minecraft Battle Royale, Halo. I would love, absolutely love a Halo Battle Royale with the vehicles, the warthogs and
For the
phantoms.
2.5 months that you'd
Oh
get to
man,
play it before the live service game got taken down.
no, not Halo. Halo would be up for a while. But I'm just saying, like, I understand the frustration of something like losing Steam keys, especially if you've backed them or promised keys. But I mean, in the long run, he did come out on Twitter and say that he's trying to help out developers and in the end consumers. If he helps out the developers now and give them the better revenue split if he's able to get Steam to change their revenue policy, he's already said he's not going to do exclusives anymore. He's doing exclusive. He's doing it to get
That's a
to get
super
Steam
easy
to
thing
have
to
a better.
say
It is,
when you
but
know
I
that
believe.
Steam isn't going to change.
I mean, you don't know. I mean, if games keep going over there, if they make the store better and people keep moving over there because of the exclusives or because they believe in what Tim is doing, which I don't think there's a majority of people who believe what Tim is doing.
Yeah.
Believe in what Tim is doing. But anyway, regardless, if something does happen and Steam and Gabe Newell gets out of his
Out of
giant
his tube.
Scrooge duck bank of money that he's constantly living in, then maybe things will get better and we'll lose those store exclusives. But I
I
don't know.
don't.
I believe in him. I think he's doing good for the industry. I think he's trying to help everyone out. And personally, more money to the developers makes me happy because it's so expensive to make games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't like third-party developers. Sure, they need the money, but I don't like this idea that we've been locked into as a gaming community to like justify some of these predatory practices they do, and that's one of the things that gets used
Well,
for
we're
like.
not justifying. That's why the landscape is changing right now.
eh,
Loot boxes are not going away completely, but there are a lot of less games that are using them.
First off, they're
And
called surprise mechanics,
I'm sorry,
and they're a lot of fun.
sponsored by EA.
Sponsored by
But
EA.
they, as you see, more and more games are announced now. There's no loot boxes. There's no pay to win. You know what I mean? Every game, and everyone's cheering. Oh my god! So
I am happy to,
loot
honestly, I
boxes.
am very happy that's, like, loot
Yeah,
boxes,
I'd
I
rather
do
just
think
buy the
have
skin,
a
but
place, quote unquote.
in
Like,
free to play games.
if they worked how, like, it used to be that you would play a game and you'd, like, unlock things in the game. Like, it could be argued that Mario Kart's 8's system of, like, unlocking cart parts is, it's a grab bag. You get a certain amount of coins, it randomly gives you a thing. The difference between that and a loot box is that you can't buy, your next cart. And that's really the monetization of the grab bag is the problem. If there was just a grab bag in general, that to me goes all the way back to NES. Like you beat something like you break open a trash can in a fighter, like a brawler, and you get, oh, it's a knife in here. It could have been a chicken leg. But it's like, would you like to pay $5 for a knife? That's the stuff that really comes down to that sort of thing. It's that we'll get more money in post crap.
Well,
That
that's why Black Ops is going down the drain because they keep trying to monetize every little thing. You saw that they had the red dot site reticule for $1 on their
yeah
store.
yeah.
$1 when it was free. Multiple versions of it were free and unlockable in previous Call of Duty games.
It also takes quite literally zero effort to program that in. It's a
Well, I mean, it takes a
pre-made
little
asset.
effort.
It's a
You have to turn
pre-made
on the
like
computer.
they
You have
have
to
yeah.
get your coffee ready, and you have to mouse,
Got
load
to
up
make
the
sure that your
program.
bowels are empty.
Your boss is getting on you because you're not doing nothing. So it takes a little effort.
Damn it! Where is my red reticule? I'm sorry. Don't fire me.
So do you want to move on to another one of your stories?
I've got like a quick one. It's pretty quick.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure that there's a bit of a mess around it, and we can dive into that one maybe on the next episode. But Armored Mewtwo, did you see that?
I did, and I want to stop you there because this is spoilers for the Detective Pikachu. I still have not seen it.
It's not spoilers for the movie.
Okay.
It's
Oh wait,
just
that's the
armor.
Sword and Shield thing,
Yeah,
right?
Armored Mewtwo. Well, he's been
Yeah.
announced in Go. He's been announced in Go, and there's like all this Sword and Shield controversy, which we could get into, or we can save for when we have more time, perhaps. But uh, Armored Mewtwo is coming to Pokemon Go, and people have gone berserk. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it.
Well,
People.
that's the thing is I saw the article and I didn't want to learn anymore because I thought it was a Detective Pikachu thing. But
No, it's nothing about Detective Pikachu. It's about just like Mewtwo. You've got him from like Mewtwo Strikes Back, and there's Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution coming out. The like 3D
yeah, that
remake,
movie, yeah.
CG remake of the first movie, and
Two talks, didn't he talk or something? Or was that the other
no,
one?
that was Pikachu. That was I Choose You, Pokemon I Choose You.
I love
Where
you,
Pikachu's
Ash.
like, "I love you." Spoilers, and it's like I imagine there's an episode of the Amazing World of Gumball. You ever watch that?
No, I've never heard of that.
It's okay. It's long story short. For those who might be talking about, there's Anais is like the main character's little sister. One of the main characters. She is a main character on her own. And she has this doll that she's like loves. And there's like an episode where they just sort of go through the thing, and she gets to this part where she's like feeding the doll and then like all this crazy stuff, and she's like in the field like spinning with it, and she's like, "I love you," and it's like, "I love you too, Anais," and she just screams at full volume, throws it away from her, and runs off. And I just imagine that with that. I love you too, Ash. Ah! It's like punches him in the face. Damn
That's in
it.
the fan made version.
Yeah. But
But yeah,
anyway, the Armored
go ahead.
Mewtwo coming to Go. It's got like a ridiculous, like 49,000 CP. Like it's going to be a heck of a raid to take down. But people have been complaining about this idea that Sword and Shield's not going to have the full Pokedex, the full National Dex.
Yeah.
I personally never really complete the National Dex, and with
Nope.
Pokemon Bank, I have so many Pokemon that the only way I would really complete the National Dex is I would just move those into the game, be like, I did it.
Congratulations. Well, that'd be
Yeah.
the only way to do it.
Well, the thing is that you
Complete
can't do
story.
it in the coming game. Like, there's not going to be a
Well, that's what
National
I'm
Dex.
saying. Like, in previous games, you were never able to catch whatever 800 Pokemon or whatever, all in a single game. You'd
like
have to import
900
them
something
from the
now. Like
bank.
you have to use bank, and that's what people want to do. They want to bring over the favorites and things like that. And to a degree, that's good. I personally, when I play the game, there's two schools here. There's two different sort of thoughts processes of like I like the story or like I like competitive. I like both. Um, I think competitive's dominated by a bunch of like very particular meta Pokemon, especially if you're on the Smogon scene, Lando T, that sort of stuff. But like the way people are behaving about this situation is crazy. But anyway, Armored Mewtwo coming to Pokemon Go. So it's the people are like, oh, maybe it's coming to Sword and Shield, and it's this like setup because if it comes to Sword and Shield, the people are like, oh, but I didn't get Maractus. And if it doesn't come to Sword and Shield, they're gonna be like, oh my God, they just don't care about us. They don't care about the fans. And like, it's one thing to be upset about a game. Like I get upset about games very clearly. My feelings about the Epic Store, but like I think people are going like berserk over this Pokemon thing. End of the day, there's like 900 of them.
Yeah.
I can't name them all.
A lot of them feel the same too, anyway.
Yeah, and there's like repetitive ones, and it's like if I turn the game on, I would be fine for like no previous legendaries except for Mewtwo, who we've already seen were available. Like I think legendaries can be
I don't know,
region
Starchalk.
exclusive games, like sort of stuff to the narrative. What I'm thinking they should do to solve this is now is the time to release like a new Pokemon Stadium. Give a competitive like Switch game where you can move everything from bank or home or whatever we're doing onto, and have just straight up like calculating the numbers, competitive gameplay. I think we might see that.
That would actually be pretty cool.
I think that's where this might go. People aren't willing to give that a thought or a shot or believe anything like that because they want to be angry about Sword and Shield. They're going to go buy it day one, but they want to be mad about it.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And like I've Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, like I think that was kind of crappy for them to release that whenever they released, a much weaker
I
Sun and
agree.
Moon sort of thing. But I still bought them, but you didn't buy Ultra, right?
No.
I personally wish I had just skipped regular Sun and bought Ultra Sun because it's a better game. It's way better. Same groundwork as Sun.
What is Sun? It's just a little more content.
Ultra
there was
Sun?
already.
Oh, Ultra Sun has a ton more like story.
There
New
was already
Pokemon.
like 40, 50 hours already in the main game. So
Yeah, and then a lot of that with Ultra Sun's repetitive, but it's like so much better a game. And I do think that the Pokemon Company is like pretty comfortable with their stance right now. Like I think
they're just gonna do whatever they do.
and people are gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Which is an issue from place to place. I think that if you
agree.
want to I think if you want to make the fans happy here, you announce like a Pokemon Stadium. Pokemon Stadium 3, or I guess they've already used Coliseum. What's any other arena? Pokemon Arena. Pokemon Battle Royale.
Do you know how awesome that would be? Do you know how awesome that would be if they did a
100
Pokemon
Magikarps.
Battle Royale? You
Or them
run
into a
around.
tank.
You run around the region and you pick up Pokeballs, and you don't know what's in it until you get into a battle with another trainer.
Somebody's
Do you know
stealing
how
that right
awesome
now.
that would be?
Whoever just started programming this game, we want full
Full
as soon as
creative
this
control.
as soon as this fan made thing pops up literally a week from
That
now.
would be amazing.
Pokemon Battle
You
Royale.
can customize your avatar to look like a gym leader or something.
You start with 100
gym
Pokemon
leaders.
trainers.
Oh man, that would be so cool. And you get to the end, and then the circle closes in, and where it closes in, there's like an arena pops up, and you go into the arena, and like the other losers are in the crowd watching this giant battle between the last two survivors. Oh man, that would be so freaking cool.
And this Nintendo could be your idea for a small fee. Game Freak, I know you're listening.
All right, do you want to move on to what we've been playing?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about what we're playing before we wrap it up. Yeah, you go ahead and start. I've been chatting for the last goodness knows how long. That's an alarm that I'm turning off right now.
All right. So I was gonna talk about a couple, but something came out this week, and I have not been able to stop playing it all week. And I am talking, of course, about Apex Legends. Apex Legends came out with their Season 2 Battle Pass this week, and when the first season Battle Pass came out, I was super in Apex when it first launched, and I was so excited for Battle Pass Season 1 because out of all these live service games that have been coming out with Battle Passes, including Rocket League, and Leonard, you know how much I love Rocket League,
Rocket League,
and I
something else the Epic Store got their fingers in.
yeah, I mean Rocket League maybe because of that, but we'll have to see. But anyway, um, Leonard knows. I told him, I said, if Rocket League gets a Battle Pass, I'm buying it day one. I love Rocket League's Battle Pass came out, and I looked through it, and I was like, "Do I need this?" So I didn't get it. Apex
So you're a
Legends Season 1
liar.
Battle Pass came out, and I was saying the same. I cannot wait for this Battle Pass. I'm gonna buy it day one. I love Apex Legends. It's so much fun. Apex Legends Season 1 Battle Pass came out, and I said, these skins aren't that great. I'm not buying this. Now, with all the changes that they were hyping up for Season 2 of Apex Legends, I was getting into. I was like, alright, I cannot wait for this Battle Pass. I hope they said the skins are going to be better. They said the unlocks are going to be better. I cannot wait. So the Battle Pass dropped on Tuesday, and boy, let me tell you, I am all in on Apex. This Battle Pass is so much better than the first one they have. The weapon skins are still kind of lacking, but with the new leveling system they have, it's not purely based off of experience. There's challenges now that you can do that get you to change up your playstyle, dropping into places that you wouldn't think of dropping in before. There's they got the daily challenges, they have weekly challenges. They get you to use weapons that you don't normally use. They get you to use characters that you don't normally use. The only bad thing, new challenge system that they've implemented is sometimes for the past 2 days I've been getting challenges for characters that I don't have. Especially the other day, I had to get 3 daily challenges, and 2 of my daily challenges were for characters that I don't own yet. So that's kind of unfortunate. So hopefully they introduce some type of like re-rolling system. But
I
for the most
uh,
part,
I just personally don't like character specific challenges in games like that.
well, I mean, it's nice to do it in this type of game. I think. I mean, I can understand with the frustration, especially if you get a daily for a character you just do not like, which which is where the reroll comes in my opinion. But it gets me to play other characters because I normally only play Mirage because I love Mirage. I love his personality. I love his abilities. But it gets me to play like one of it made me play Bloodhound. I had to get an execution with Bloodhound, and I had to get top three. I had to get a top three finish with Bangalore. So I just different characters in the game, but so I like that it's giving me to play other characters, and it's not like play this character for 10 hours before you complete the challenge. It's quick, knock it out in 1 or 2 matches, so you're not stuck on bad characters. But
That's fair
yeah,
enough.
yeah, in the new battle pass, they've got new unlocks now. They have really cool looking loading screens. I know loading screens seem like they're that great, but let me tell you, the loading
No,
screens
no,
in
no.
the
I
battle
I
pass,
really like loading screens.
yeah, they look super cool, and they're real specific. A lot of they have one for each of the characters, and it's so cool because they have a loading screen for each of the characters now. They have a remix of the original battle music. They have a remix specific for each character now. They have and so you can choose all the stuff for like your single character that you love, and then it's so cool. You pick your character that you love, then you get the loading screen for the character that you love. Then you get the battle music for the character that you love. And each one sounds different from each other, so they all sound like they're specifically tailored toward each individual character. It's so cool. But they added new map changes. There's giant leviathans that were outside of the map, and there's lore. They added this whole new lore to the game that they didn't have previously. And
Yeah, I downloaded Apex on PS4 once it like because you've been playing it like crazy,
I love it.
and I've yet to
And
touch it.
it's so good, and it's one of those games though. Like when I play solo, I'm not very good. when I play with randoms, I think I've got maybe like 1 or 2 wins with randoms. But when I play with like dedicated Apex players, I'm actually not bad. And just last night I was playing and I think we won 2 matches, or just this morning. I was playing and I won 2 matches this morning, and I'm just all in on it, man. They made map changes, balance changes. They added a new character this season, Watson, who
Yeah,
she's
Watson looks great. I might play
yeah,
Watson.
she's fantastic. She puts down these like electrified gates where your teammates can walk through it, but if the enemy walks through it, you get notified and they take little damage. She's got this like trophy system from like Call of Duty where you throw it out, it destroys any type of grenades or projectiles that get thrown into the area. It's just they really knocked it out of the park with season 2, and I'm so excited to see what else they can have in store, and I'm just all man. It's just so much fun.
It looks rad, and I think that if I started playing it, I'd get into it. I have a tremendous backlog of games, which I've been working pretty actively on. Because if you don't mind, I'm going to move into the game I've been playing,
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn. I know I'm late to the party, but oh my gosh, this is the silly story. The reason that I've not been doing so well in Horizon Zero Dawn, why I kept like leaving it, is I got my PlayStation and I bought it in June, waiting for Spider-Man in September. And I got Horizon Zero Dawn. I got some games for it. Bloodborne, I was playing for a bit. I don't know if you remember, I told you, Chris, I was like, I'm just going to play Bloodborne. I won't buy any more games until I beat it. And then I bought several other games because Bloodborne is a punishing nightmare and I love it. But also, my body can't take that level of sheer not breathing for such long periods of time.
Also,
Uh,
that's just how gamers work. I'm gonna play this one game. Oh, this game's on sale. I'll just pick it up. You never know.
yeah.
And then eventually you have 20 games in your.
Like, yeah, I'm just staring down the barrel of like game after game. But the problem for me is in these big open world games, if I don't go and open up the whole map, I think it's too daunting. Like if there's like fog on the map, which in Horizon, you've got to go like open up the climb the tall necks and get the maps. Also, I didn't know how fast travel worked because I started playing it, then I just devoured Spider-Man the moment it came out. My girlfriend got it for my birthday, and I played it like constantly. I platinumed it on my first run, first platinum trophy, and the screen
Congratulations.
cap for it. Thank you. It's just a black screen because it was the end of the game. It's like screen cap, like yeah, that's right. Just popped up at the very end.
Now every time
So
you look at a black wall, you think
I platinum
I jumped it.
Spider-Man. I've got a black bookcase right now, just staring right at it. Just
Nice.
good times. But yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn. This is how I approach games. I play Monster Hunter. I've played Monster Hunter for a long time. And any time that there's just like, oh, these, you've got to fight a big monster, or you've got to fight a monster where you are potentially going to be murdered with one hit. That's the thing about Bloodborne. This is how I get through. I just lock myself into I'm playing Monster Hunter, and I just roll I just dodge. I just roll and roll and roll. But unlike Monster Hunter, Horizon Zero Dawn doesn't have a stamina gauge. So I can just basically roll
Yeah, you
forever. So
just roll
it's
infinitely.
just me rolling in circles, taking pop shots. I also like to throw all of my ammunition at everything. Like every encounter, I'm using every weapon, like throwing everything out. Like I come at these things like I am a rolling arsenal. Like,
Well,
like
some
man,
of
I'm
them you
just
have
like
to, because some of them have a lot of armor.
I've yet to kill a Thunderjaw. I want to say it is the big like
Oh,
stompy
dude,
T
those
Rex
things
guys.
are so
I've yet
hard
to
to
kill
take
one of
out.
those. I have to get one now for the Hunter's Lodge. It needs me to kill one and a Stormbird. I'm going to take a bit to get that because now that I've like dedicated myself to beating this game, the story is very compelling. Facial animations could use some work.
Yes.
Voice acting's pretty good.
Yeah.
Some of those facial animations, but I know there was some problems at first where it was like super bad. But some of these, like, they look like the future has not been kind to
Well,
them.
I think what it is, I think it's the side story missions that are more rough around the edges than the actual campaign.
I've noticed that some of the side missions, the characters like, "Hello, sister. I am." I mean, I'm not moving my mouth. You can't really
Yeah.
do that, but it's like he's speaking, but like his mouth isn't synced up, and it's sort of like man, this is rough. And then, but just the world, I've got it in the 4K, the HDR, the upscaled
Oh,
4K
nice.
that the Pro does, and the world is very pretty. I
I remember
love the thrill of the hunt.
when that game first came out, everyone was saying to show off 4K HDR, you need to play Horizon. I remember
Yeah,
that.
and I would stand by that statement. It's such a fun game, and I know I'm late to the party, but if you saw my backlog, you'd understand. But like I'm really dedicating myself. This is my next game I gotta beat. I've also got God of War on the back docket for my PlayStation stuff.
How
We
do
won't
you
even
like
bother
the
talking about.
story on that in the Horizon? Do you like the story? Do you find it compelling?
Oh yeah, I said like I loved like I've gotten some minor spoilers for the game that I just sort of allowed myself to have because I never intended to buy a PlayStation. Because I've got my PC, I've got my Switch, But man, I saw Spider-Man coming. I had to get this thing. So Sony's pretty well hooked me now. Uh, but I find the story, like, I know a little bit about what's going to happen. Like, I know a little bit about some of the like big spoilers of the game. And even knowing that, it doesn't take away from the just like story of this character, of what she's going through, the world around you, trying to figure out like little stuff. Like, I know the big twist of the game. I know it already. And usually when I know a spoiler, I know something about anything, like a show. Most recently, I just caught up on Stranger Things season 2 for season 3 to come out, and like I knew something was going to happen, and I waited the entire season waiting for it to happen.
Hmm.
In Horizon Zero Dawn, I'm not waiting for the, like, I know it happens, but I often forget. I'm a little curious if I'm gonna be like surprised at first. Like, what? Oh, wait a minute, this is the thing I knew. Like, I get in that.
One of my favorite things that Horizon that not many other games have done for me, the side stories. I thought the side stories. Not, I'm not talking about the side quests. I'm talking about the actual the what were they? They're like audio recordings that are living
Oh
throughout
yeah,
the
I love
map.
those things.
I I have never before said, "Oh, hold on, I need to stop and I need to listen to this." Horizon, dude, every single one of those audio tapes that I picked up, I was like, "Hold up a minute, I gotta stop here. I gotta listen to this thing
A
because
pocket shitstorm day
they
4.
were they were fantastic. That hearing all the different stories of what had happened while the world was going to hell, like they hooked me, man. They were almost as interesting as the main campaign itself. I love the main campaign as well, but those audio logs were just so interesting.
It's also a pretty clever game when it comes to the writing. It's thrown some stuff at me that I wasn't quite expecting to like be in the situation of. It's pretty ambiguous with people. Like, you don't have like this shining knight type character. I mean, you
Yeah,
do. You do a
yeah.
little bit with Roth in the beginning. But like even he's like this, he's got his flaws. But everybody is kind of inherently, I mean, with the exception of the villains who I've not quite met yet, but everybody's like inherently not a bad person unless they're a bad person, if that makes any sense. Does that make any sense to you?
No, not really.
Like, your side characters that you meet like, there's this lady who wants this thing done. You're like, she seems nice. She seems nice. But then you meet a character later, and it's like, I'm evil, and he's like cackling evil, like he's like a monster, and it's like your people are either like normal people every day or like
Okay,
sociopaths.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
So it's like I did a side mission where like I met this person, and they're like, please help me, and like I went to go help them, and when I got there, I found like a scene. I found out they lied to me about what happened, and I'm like, yep,
I'm pretty sure I know that mission.
yep, this follows. This is exactly what I expected from that guy. like, like, you just get the vibe. Like, this guy's definitely evil.
How do you
Like,
feel about the monster variety? Do you think there's a
oh
good
my god,
variety
I
of
love
them,
the
or
monsters. I love them. Except Glinthawks. Glinthawks are terrible, and I hate them.
I think the stealth ones got on my nerves a lot,
Oh,
and the
dude, the stalkers.
yeah,
I think
because
trap
you
maws are
have
my
to
favorite.
like look at the grass and see where they're walking and stuff, but them and the Thunderjaws, just because the Thunderjaws so much to take down. And I had a bad experience with one of the hunting lodges where you had to attack the crab ones. Have you seen the crab ones yet?
Yeah, those guys. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
them too.
there was like a pack of like 3 or 4 of them or something like that, and you had to take down like 3 of them within a certain time limit or something. And dude, I did that mission for the platinum probably like 20 times. They were getting on my nerves so much, but they weren't. In the end, they're not too bad. But the Thunderjaws and those stalkers, man.
I've had some
But
issues with some hunting lodge things too, like for the suns, the glimmering suns or whatever.
yeah.
I've got a couple of those that I have to go back and do because at the time either I didn't have the weapon or I just didn't have the gameplay skill to do them.
Oh,
And
you
instead of
know,
slamming my head against the wall over and over again, I've just moved on because there's so much to do.
yeah. There's a lot in the game. It's funny
Even in a
because
relatively small open world map, it's saturated.
it's not that small. It's kind of big, Horizon map. But
Well, I know because I just learned how to fast travel recently. So yes, I'm aware.
when I first started playing the game, and you first get to the minor spoilers when you first get to that giant canyon into that first major city,
Yeah.
I found a vendor who was selling the that weapon to anchor the machines to the
Oh, I
ground.
love the rope caster.
And I didn't buy it. I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. That's a cool weapon. I wonder why they haven't given that to me yet." So I didn't buy that weapon, thinking that eventually in the game they were gonna give it to me and say, "Oh, this is how you use this weapon." And I probably played like 15 or 20 hours or something, and they never gave me the weapon. And I was like, "Where's this weapon at? Why have they not given me this weapon yet? This is weird." I was like, "I'm just gonna have to buy this, I guess."
So you're as
And then I
frugal in
just
games as
started
you are in real life.
yeah, I just started buying I just started buying all the weapons like the slingshot and
I
all
did
that
something
stuff.
similar. Like I bought my first wave of weapons, and I held those things for like ever. I was too busy using my shards to make arrows, which were not strong enough to kill the monsters. So I needed to use those shards to buy weapons that were strong. Now that I think I figured the gameplay out pretty well. Now I'm doing way better than I was before. But man, also I started doing the hunting thing, and they give you weapons that you can't buy. The
Yeah,
Hunter's Lounge gives you some weapons you can't buy.
I don't quite remember the rewards you get.
There's like a
It's been a long time since
blast,
I
like a
completed the game.
ripped hair blaster or something. That's like a it's basically like a sound shotgun that rips the armor off of enemies that get too close to you. Like
Hmm.
you can close and blast them off. But like, yeah, I am a gorgeous redhead woman making my way through the world.
How many hours do you have in it?
I couldn't tell you. I've just
No.
been playing. I haven't checked my playtime. But I will tell you, the last 15 hours of gameplay have probably been way more productive than the first 15 hours of gameplay.
All right.
I
Well,
think that's about does it, right?
yeah, I think so. Well, I guess we'll be back next week to talk about some more news stories, about some more stuff that we've been playing. Spoilers, it's probably gonna be more Apex and Horizon.
Leonard is like 100% asleep in his chair.
Yeah, probably. He doesn't care about anything. He only wants to play.
Hasn't even
No,
recorded.
he doesn't even want to play World of Warcraft. He just wants to watch people play World of Warcraft. That's why he plays Warframe.
Yeah, Warframe. That's something we can get into next week.
I gotta walk around with my Space Ninja and throw these Space Ninja stars.
First
Look
off,
all
that's
cool.
Ash that you're talking about. Probably. I don't know. I'm a mummy.
But
But
yeah, thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for a
both
chance
of you are very welcome to listen to next week's podcast.
for
Both of the
checking us
people who we
out,
will
giving us
probably
a
send this
chance.
to ourselves.
I'm definitely gonna listen to it. I know that. And then I know my mom's gonna listen to it. I know she's
Yeah,
gonna say
I
everything
mean, I think
is
my mom
amazing.
might also. I got like one
So
friend,
if you know my mom, she doesn't say a lot of things that are amazing, but she does say everything I does is amazing. So just take
which
that
is
for what you will.
it's great. It's good. But anyway, have a good weekend/week, folks, and
Yeah.
yes,
We
we'll
will see
talk
you
later.
guys next week.
Bye.